Today, we're jumping right into a character who brings some serious control to the table. We're talking about Nahor. This is basically the ultimate guide we're putting together for you on Nahor. We're going to cover the best build, modules, shells, those passive stats, everything.
Yeah, and where they work best, pros, cons, the whole deal.
Exactly. Oh, and quick heads up, we've got our monthly pass giveaway running. Just like this video, drop a comment below. Anything works, and make sure you're subscribed. We'll announce the winner in about 9 days.
Nice. Good luck to everyone on that.
Definitely. Okay, so Nahor, let's get into it. We're aiming for a really comprehensive look, unpacking all those crucial details that, make a real difference in how you use them.
Right. So Nahor, they're an SSR character, odd element, from the Etheria EOS faction. Title is Order Judgement, which sounds pretty fitting.
It really does.
Our goal here is simple. Give you a complete picture, the best build, gear setup with modules and shells, what passive stats to look for, and crucially, where they actually perform best. We want to help you turn Nahor into a real powerhouse on your team. Their kit is all about disruption. Let's start with skill 1. It's called Justice.
Justice, okay.
It's a single target hit, does 240% damage, but the key part is it has a 40% chance to land a defense decrease debuff. Lasts 2 turns, lowers enemy defense by 60%.
60%, that's significant.
It really is. And importantly, the cooldown is 0. It's always up. So you've got this consistent way to try and soften up a target.
Okay, reliable defense, shred on demand. What's next? How do they build on that?
Next up is skill 2, Discipline. Another single target attack. This one hits for 280% damage. But here's where it gets really interesting. It has a 70% chance, pretty high, to dispel all buffs from the enemy. Not just 1 or 2, all of them.
Wow, okay. A full cleanse on the enemy.
Exactly. And then it inflicts a 2-turn block debuff. That stops the target getting any new buffs while it's active.
Ooh, that's nasty. So you strip them bare and keep them that way for a bit.
Pretty much. It's a really powerful control effect. The cooldown starts at 3 turns. But importantly, it goes down to just 2 turns when you max the skill out.
2 turns cooldown for a full dispel and block? That's really strong uptime.
It's incredibly consistent, yeah.
Okay, so single target debuffs, buff stripping and blocking. How does their ultimate verdict bring it all together? Is that the big area of effect moment?
That's exactly it. Skill 3. Verdict is their big area of effect skill. It hits all enemies, deals 300% damage.
Nice.
And it has a high 70% chance to inflict that same 2-turn defense decrease, but on everyone.
Area of effect defense. Okay. Very useful.
Very. And on top of that, there's a 50% chance to inflict a 1-turn freeze. Freeze is huge, completely stops the target acting or gaining any turn meter.
So potentially locking down multiple enemies while softening them all up?
That's the idea. It's a massive swing.
Gotcha. So looking at all 3 skills, Justice, Discipline, Verdict, there's a lot going on. How do they really synergize? What's the strategic game plan when you put Nahor on a team?
Well, the synergy is really clear, isn't it? The entire kit is laser focused on debuffing enemies and just preventing them from doing what they want to do.
Right. Taking away their advantages.
Exactly. That combination on skill 3, the area of effect defense decrease, plus the area of effect freeze potential. That's incredibly potent. You're not just making them easier to kill, you're potentially stopping them from even taking a turn.
So crowd control and damage amplification rolled into one.
Precisely. It sets up your damage dealers beautifully while also providing significant safety by locking down threats. They really help you dictate the pace of the fight.
So when we think about that strategic role, where does Nahor really make the biggest impact? Which game modes, what kinds of fights?
Right. So Nahor is an odd affinity animus, focusing on debuffs and buff prevention. Their specific niche, really, is that combination of area of effect defense decrease and hard crowd control with the freeze. If you compare them, say, to Kloss, who's more about just spamming defense decrease constantly.
Yeah, single target, mostly.
Right. Or someone like Dinah, who brings more burst damage herself. Nahor sits in this interesting spot. They offer that crucial crowd control, along with enabling damage, rather than being the main source of it. They make your whole team hit harder and safer.
That blend does sound really versatile. But how reliant are they on skill levels? You mentioned cooldowns reducing. Does that mean you really need to invest heavily to get the most out of them?
That's a really important point. Yes, they are quite reliant on skill levels. You need those levels to boost the chances of the debuffs landing, especially the freeze and the dispel block.
Makes sense.
And getting those cooldowns down on skill 2 and skill 3 is critical for their effectiveness in longer fights. Also, don't forget that skill 1 at level 4 gives a 15 speed boost.
Ah, right. Speed is king for controllers.
Always. Getting that boost can be really crucial for turn order, making it a high priority upgrade sometimes.
So, thinking about player versus environment content, fighting the game's AI, where does Nahor fit in there?
In PvE, they're fantastic in stages where enemies aren't immune to freeze. Think like DokiDoki challenges or Grim Pursuit, places where locking down waves is key.
Right?
They can be your main offensive debuffer, setting up kills. Or using them for control might free up spots on your team, letting you bring more pure buffers or supports to maybe tackle a really tough boss. They give you flexibility.
Makes sense. They make those potentially overwhelming fights more manageable.
Exactly.
And what about the other side of the coin? Player versus player, how do they stack up against other players' teams?
PvP is a bit different. Nahor's base speed, that 137 while solid, isn't top tier compared to dedicated openers like, say, Mio.
Right, Mio is blazing fast.
Yeah, so if you want Nahor to go first in PvP, you're going to need some serious speed investment on their gear. They become quite gear hungry in that role.
So maybe not the primary initiator then?
Not always. They can work really well as a follow-up controller, coming in after a faster unit sets things up. Or they can be a great sort of pocket pick.
How so?
Well, that skill 2, the single target buff, strip, and block, that can be a direct counter to specific, really annoying buff-reliant enemy units. If you see an opponent relying heavily on buffs, bringing Nahor can just shut that strategy down cold.
Ah, like a specific tech choice. Got it. Okay, so let's try and summarize. What are the clear, standout pros for bringing Nahor to the fight?
Okay, main pros. 1. Consistent area of effect defense decrease. Very reliable way to boost team damage against multiple targets.
Yeah.
2, high chance for an area of effect freeze. That's powerful crowd control.
Definitely.
And 3, that buff removal plus block debuff combo on skill 2. It's a rare and really potent mix of effects for shutting down key targets.
Okay, solid advantages. Now, what about the downsides? What are the cons or challenges we need to be aware of?
Right, the cons.
Yeah.
First, as we mentioned, they really need high skill levels to shine in endgame content. Those debuff chances and cooldowns matter a lot.
Investment is key.
Absolutely. Second, the buff removal and block being on skill 2 means it's single target and might not always be used optimally on autoplay. You know, the AI might target someone less critical.
Right, less reliable on auto.
And third, that speed issue in PvP again. They just aren't naturally fast enough to compete as a primary opener against the top speed demons without significant speed investment from gear.
Makes sense. You need to commit if you want them leading the charge in the arena. Okay, this is where it gets really strategic and honestly kind of fun. Building Nahor. Yeah. Let's talk shells and modules for maximum impact. What's the top recommendation? Maybe starting with a player versus environment focus.
All right, builds.
Yeah.
For PvE, probably the strongest, like almost absurdly good shell for Nahor is Codex of Magic.
Codex, okay. What makes it so good?
Its effect is wild. Before Nahor takes their turn, it just skips the cooldown for their next skill and gives them 10% speed for 2 turns.
Wait, skips the cooldown so you could use skill 3 twice in a row?
Bingo. You use skill 3, get the defense down, and maybe freeze. Next turn, Codex procs skill 3 is ready again. You get near permanent uptime on the defense decrease and potentially 2 full turns of area of effect freeze right at the start.
Whoa, that sounds game-breaking in some fights.
It can be. It completely locks out enemy teams and massively boosts your damage output. Amazing for shorter PvE fights and pretty potent in PvP too if you can make it work.
Okay, so for Codex, what module sets synergize best with that? Speed, I assume.
Definitely speed. A Swiftrush 12 set is ideal for just raw speed, but you could also consider an 8-set Bulwark for survival, or an 8-set Strive if you expect to get hit, or maybe mix like a Swift Smite 6 set and a Swift Raid 6 set for speed, plus some effect, accuracy, or attack.
Got it. Codex sounds amazing. What if you don't have that one? What's a strong second choice?
Jackal Guard is another excellent shell. It's more supportive. After Nahor's main turn, it triggers a follow-up attack, gives Nahor a speed buff for 3 turns, and boosts their turn meter by 25%.
Ah, so it helps them cycle their turns faster.
Yep. Exactly. Really good for getting those skills back up quicker, especially if your team doesn't have another consistent speed buffer. Lets Nahor keep the debuffs flowing.
Okay, and module sets for Jackal Guard. Still speed-focused.
Pretty much. Again, Swiftrush 12 set is great for pure speed. Timeweave 8 set could be interesting for the cooldown chance and effect accuracy. Bulwark 8 set for defense. Swift Smite 6 set for speed accuracy.
Yeah.
Similar ideas. Oh, and early on, Black Flag can be a decent substitute for Jackal Guard. Gives similar speed and turn meter boosts.
Good tip for early game. Now, what about a defensive option, if you maybe need Nahor to be a bit tankier?
Yeah, if survivability is a concern, Artisan is a really solid defensive shell. Before Nahor acts, it boosts their defense by 700 for 2 turns, and it gives a shield to both Nahor and the ally with the lowest current health points. The shield scales off Nahor's defense 400% of it.
Oh, nice. Protects an ally, too.
Yep. So if you're willing to trade off maybe a little speed or the direct skill synergy from Codex Jackal, Artisan adds a lot of resilience.
And module sets for Artisan, maybe leaning more defensive or still speed.
You could go a few ways. Timeweave 12 set works well here for cooldowns and accuracy, synergizing with longer fights where defense matters. Swiftrush 12 set is still viable if you want speed and defense. Bloodbath 12 set is a fantastic anti-burst option, or Bulwark 8 set for general toughness.
Okay, those cover the main bases. Are there any other, maybe more niche shells worth mentioning, perhaps for specific PvP situations?
Sure, there are a few specialist ones you might see, mainly in PvP. Amber lets Nahor cheat death once every 6 turns, recovering health and getting immunity and defense. Good for survivability surprises. Alicorn dispels debuffs from Nahor at the start of their turn and boosts effect resistance, helping ensure they don't get controlled.
Right, counter control.
Exactly. And Lighthouse triggers if Nahor takes a big hit, healing them and boosting their turn meter. Gives them personal sustain against burst damage.
Okay, useful situational pick. So we've talked shells. Let's drill down into the modules themselves and the stats. What specific set bonuses are we really looking for and why?
Right, module sets. We mentioned Swiftrush a lot. That's your go-to for pure speed. 8%, 20%, up to 35% speed boost for 4, 8, 12 pieces. Just fantastic for turn order.
Can't go wrong with speed.
Never. Then there's Timeweave. It gives 18% effect accuracy at 6 or 12 pieces. The 12-piece bonus is the kicker, though. A 35% chance at the start of Nahor's turn to reduce all skill cooldowns by 1.
Oh, that sounds amazing for PvE uptime.
It really is powerful in PvE. Lets Nahor use skill 2 and 3 much more often. The trade-off is going for a 12-set Timeweave means you can't get the max speed from a 12-set Swiftrush, which can be a deal-breaker in PvP.
Right, that PvE versus PvP optimization choice again. What about some of the 8-piece utility sets?
Okay, 8-piece sets. Strive gives 10% defense, and crucially 10% turn meter whenever Nahor gets attacked. Good for helping them catch up if they get focused down, especially in PvP or against bosses that hit a lot.
Okay.
Bulwark gives 10% health points, and importantly, 1 turn of immunity at the start of each wave. That's mainly a PvP thing. Stops Nahor getting locked down by an enemy controller right at the start.
Got it. Protects against that initial onslaught.
Exactly. For 6-piece sets, Swift Smite is super common and effective. 15% speed, 20% effect accuracy. Great stats for any support or debuffer.
Yeah, bread and butter set.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
And one more 12 set worth mentioning for defense, especially PvP, is Bloodbath. It gives 18% effect resistance, but the big deal is 55% extra damage reduction if Nahor takes a hit that deals more than 20% of their max health points.
Wow, massive anti-burst protection.
Huge. Really helps them survive those initial alpha strikes in PvP.
Okay, so lots of good set options depending on the goal. Now, putting it all together regardless of the set, what are the absolute most crucial stats we need on the actual module pieces for Nahor? Main stats and substats.
All right, stats. For the main stats on your module, slot 1, 2, and 3, you generally want effect accuracy. That's the priority.
Accuracy, accuracy, accuracy.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
For slot 3, if you find you have enough effect accuracy from substats and maybe the shell passive, you could consider health points percentage or defense percentage for more survivability. But start with effect accuracy.
And the substats, where's the focus there?
Substat priority is super clear. Speed number 1 by a mile. Number 2 is effect accuracy. After you've maxed those as much as possible, you look for health points percentage and defense percentage. They're roughly equal in value. And then flat health points and flat defense are last.
Speed and effect accuracy uber alles, basically.
That's the mantra for Nahor. Yeah.
Can you elaborate just a bit on why speed is so overwhelmingly important for a character like them?
Sure. For any support, especially a controller, going first is often the difference between winning and losing. Speed lets Nahor apply their defense decrease before your damage dealers attack, maximizing their damage. It lets them land freeze before the enemy gets a turn, completely neutralizing threats.
Preemptive strike, essentially.
Exactly. In PvE, it makes runs smoother and safer. In PvP, it dictates who controls the fight. Effect accuracy is just as mandatory, because if those debuffs don't land, Nahor isn't doing their job, plain and simple. If you see resisted popping up, you need more accuracy.
Makes total sense. And for survivability, you mentioned health points and defense percentage after speed and accuracy. Any reason to prefer one over the other?
It's generally a balance. Health points gives a bigger buffer against huge single hits. Defense makes each point of health points more valuable and scales better with shield, like the one from the Artisan Shell. Often, getting a good mix of both HP percent and def percent substats is ideal. Don't stress too much about flat HP def unless the rolls are really high. And effect resistance is nice to have to avoid getting debuffed yourself, but don't chase it over speed or accuracy.
Gotcha. Okay, one last piece of the gear puzzle. The shell passive stats, those unique bonuses on slot 1, 2, and 3. What should we aim for there?
Right, shell passives. For slot 1, ideally you want health points percentage. It's a solid boost to durability. But if you get a higher rarity shell with flat HP, defense percent, or flat defense, and it has great substats, that's fine too.
Okay. Slot 2.
Slot 2 is almost always speed. More turns, more impact. You might keep an effect accuracy roll temporarily if it's really high and you're desperate for accuracy, but speed is the long-term goal.
Speed, speed, speed. Got it. And slot 3.
Slot 3 is interesting. Effect accuracy is great here. There are two types. Gaze provides stacking accuracy over the fight, so it's better for longer PvE encounters. Insight gives a bigger chunk of accuracy right away, which is generally better for shorter fights or PCP, where that first debuff application is critical.
Ah, good distinction between gaze and insight. Okay, this detailed build advice is super helpful, but it brings up a crucial question. Skill priority. Given that Nahor needs investment, and PvE might value different things than PvP, how should you actually level up their skills?
Excellent question. The priorities do shift. Let's talk player versus environment first.
Okay, PvE priority.
In PvE, your main goal is maximizing that skill 3 impact. So priority 1 is getting skill 3 to level 5. This maxes the freeze defense down chance and reduces the cooldown to 3 turns. Super important.
Max skill 3 first. Makes sense.
After that, get skill 2 to level 4. This boosts the dispel block chance significantly. You don't necessarily need the final cooldown reduction right away.
Level 4 skill 2.
Got it. Then, go for skill 1 level 4. That gets you the crucial 15 speed boost.
Speed boost next.
Yep, after those key points, you can finish maxing skill 2 to level 5 for the cooldown, and then finally skill 1 to level 5 for a bit more damage as resources allow.
Okay, clear path for PvE. Now, how does that change for player versus player, where turn 1 can decide everything?
PvP flips it around a bit. Because speed is absolutely critical for going first, your number 1 priority is skill 1 level 4 for that 15 speed. Get that immediately.
Skill 1 level 4 first for PvP. Makes sense.
After that, since PvP fights are often faster and those initial hits matter more than long-term cooldowns, you want to get the main effects boosted.
Yeah.
So take skill 3 to level 4 and skill 2 to level 4 next. Get those higher debuff chances and damage boosts online quickly.
Both to level 4 after the speed boost.
Exactly. Once you have those level 4 breakpoints hit, then you can focus on maxing out skill 3 to level 5 and skill 2 to level 5 for the cooldown reductions, followed by skill 1 to level 5 last.
So prioritize speed, then immediate impact, then cooldowns for PvP.
That's the general idea, yeah. It gets Nahor performing better in those quick, decisive PvP matches faster.
Wow, okay. We've covered a ton. Stats, skills, builds for PvE and PvP, skill priorities. It's really clear Nahor isn't just a simple debuffer. They are a serious control unit.
Definitely.
That blend of area of effect control, the defense shred, the buff negation, it makes them incredibly impactful, but you really do need to build them right and skill them strategically for where you plan to use them most.